What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to Kid Taj, and today we're going to be talking about the All-Star starters in the NBA this year for this year's All-Star game. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to leave a like, comment an idea down below, subscribe if you're new. Let's get right into this. So tomorrow I'm going to make my Eastern Conference video for who I think the reserves should be, and then the next day I'm probably going to make my Western Conference video for who I think the reserves should be, and that will all come in. But right now we're going to focus on, well, they were just announced a few minutes ago. We just heard, by the time you guys are watching this, it will probably be a few hours ago. We just heard who the All-Star starters are going to be in this year's All-Star game for Eastern Conference and Western Conference. I'm going to go over them. I'm going to say what I like, what I didn't like. And let's start with the Eastern Conference backcourt. So guys, I found it very interesting, these picks. Throughout the All-Star game, results. If you didn't know about the formula, we saw fan vote was 50%. It accounted for 50% of the votes. Player vote was 25%, and media vote was 25%. The guys who will be starting in the Eastern Conference in the backcourt were Kyrie Irving from the Cleveland Cavaliers and DeMar DeRozan from the Toronto Raptors. Now, I missed on both of these picks. I don't know if I should say missed, but I wanted to see Isaiah Thomas locked in. I was very disappointed that he didn't make it because he definitely deserved it more than any other guard in the Eastern Conference in my opinion. And I also wanted to see Kyle Lowry, who was like really an underdog pick because no one really notices how good he is. He stays one of the most underrated players in the league, doing so much for his team. I still think he's better than DeRozan. I think he gets that spot over DeRozan. I understand why Kyrie got in. Kyrie, just because he's so well liked throughout the community. He's amazing. We've seen him in the finals on the biggest stages. He plays big games. He's on the best team in the Eastern Conference. So it makes sense that we would see Kyrie here. He's getting a ton of fan love, and that's just, you expect that because of the guy is so known around the NBA atmosphere. So Kyrie and DeRozan, you can't be too disappointed in them. At least you didn't see Dwayne Wade, because that would have been a lot worse if Dwayne Wade had made this game. I know it's a popularity contest, guys, but I'm judging this off of who deserves the All-Star appearance. The players want to go to All-Star weekend. It's very important in their resume, to say, I was an All-Star, I was an All-Star starter, and it's just a great experience. You want to be recognized for what you've done, and Isaiah Thomas certainly deserved to be an All-Star starter. He will be on the reserves. He's a lock there. Kyle Lowry is likely a lock as well, because I think the coaches will really recognize what Kyle Lowry has done for his team this season. But we had Kyrie Irving and DeMar DeRozan. I'm more okay with DeMar DeRozan than I am with Kyrie Irving, I think, because I don't think Kyrie has had a standout year in any way, shape, or form. He's been great, and that's so weird to say, right? Because it seems like Kyrie's putting up these great scoring numbers. He's been incredibly efficient from the field, but he's doing his scoring thing. He's been the scorer for that Cleveland Cavaliers team with LeBron James on it. That's just the role that he plays, and I don't think that he does more for his squad than a guy like Isaiah Thomas or Kyle Lowry and even DeMar DeRozan, who's starting next to Kyrie Irving. DeMar DeRozan has been huge for his team as well. He's taken on, more of a load, more of a scoring load than I think Kyrie Irving has. I think he's doing more for his team. I think he deserves to be in the All-Star game, but I don't think DeRozan should be a starter. I still stick with Thomas and Lowry as my starters. Take a look at the Eastern Conference front court. I think they nailed this one. LeBron James, Giannis, and Jimmy Butler. Honestly, you can't go wrong with that. That's exactly what I thought it would be. And that's perfect. No complaints here. These three guys are heads and shoulders above the rest of the guys, I think. Kevin Love is maybe a little bit close, but yeah, you take Jimmy Butler all day. Giannis, he's been playing amazing. He's getting the recognition he deserves, and LeBron is a given as well. Eastern Conference front court is all good. Now this is where we get to the controversy. Guys, the backcourt for the Western Conference. The Eastern Conference backcourt, a lot of people were upset they didn't see Isaiah Thomas in there, but, Kyrie Irving's a great player. He can be in the All-Star game as a starter, and it won't be that big of a deal because we know who he is. We know how great he is. And Isaiah's been great, but, Kyrie, right? It's not, Isaiah's been better than Kyrie this season, but it's not like it's been, like, a ridiculous amount so that we have to, protest or whatever. This one might be. Russell Westbrook is not starting in the All-Star game this year. Stephen Curry is. I'm going to wait for you guys to be upset about this because I'm pretty upset about this. I don't get how you average 30 points and a triple-double and keep your team in the playoff race and you don't start in the All-Star game. 30-point triple-double average and you don't start in the All-Star game. First of all, Russell Westbrook didn't get enough love from the voting, okay? Stephen Curry and James Harden both got more fan votes than Russell Westbrook did, to my ultimate surprise. I thought Westbrook would be killing it in the All-Star game voting, but he wasn't for some reason, even though he's been absolutely amazing this season. And second off, the players and the media didn't really do him justice either, because they really could have saved him from this. You know, Jimmy Butler, he was like 4th or 5th in the voting, or 5th or 6th in the voting for the front court, but he made it in considerably. But they couldn't save Westbrook because he was 3rd. I mean, you couldn't get Westbrook. I think we all know Westbrook's had a better season than Curry. You gotta put him in there somehow. The players voted Westbrook. But I don't know how this happened. This is kind of ridiculous. I think it was because Curry was number 1 in fan voting and Westbrook was 3rd in fan voting, and then, you know, they flipped one. And player media, oh no, I get it. The math makes sense now. And it was a tie, actually. They tied, but since Curry had more fan votes, it breaks the tiebreaker with the fan votes. That's terrible. I think that's a shame. We're definitely going to see Russell Westbrook in the game as well. He'll be the best bench player in the All-Star game. And we're going to get to see Westbrook and KD on the same team, just not starting. Come on, it would have been so much more entertaining to see Westbrook and KD starting in the All-Star game. I already gave that one away, that for the front court we had Kevin Durant, Kawhi Leonard, and Anthony Davis, which is pretty spot on. I initially did say I think DeMarcus Cousins should be starting, but I changed my mind. I'm going with Anthony Davis. So they got the front court down pat. Kawhi Leonard and KD are absolutely deserving. And yeah. The biggest relief is that we didn't have to see Zaza Pachulia in the All-Star game this year. I'm very glad that, you know, no one from the media or the players voted for him, and they got the other guys voted in. They got Anthony Davis and Kawhi Leonard to get ahead of him in that category. So yeah, biggest snubs from the All-Star starters, I'm going to say Isaiah Thomas, Kyle Lowry, but that's just my opinion. I don't think a lot of people are going to share that opinion that Kyle Lowry should be a starter, but I think he was snubbed. I think Thomas and Lowry were both snubbed. I think that Russell Westbrook was the biggest snub by far. And yeah, that's it. 3 snubs. I had Isaiah Thomas, Lowry, Kyle Lowry, and Russell Westbrook as my 3 All-Star starter snubs. The front court was done really well. I think the Eastern and Western Conference front court starters are perfect, exactly the way they should be. The backcourt, you know, there's a little bit that needs to be done there. I think they only got one backcourt guy right, personally, and that's James Harden. I think he's the only guy in the backcourt for either team that should be there, because, you know, I already shared my opinion on this. But yeah, those are the All-Star starters. If you like the All-Star starters or don't like the All-Star starters, what your complaints are with this, let me know in the comments. Who's the snubs, who's the real snubs, whatever. And also comment idea for a video in the future sometime. But yeah, I'm going to be doing the Western Conference, Eastern Conference, actually Eastern Conference, Western Conference reserves. My picks for those who I think should be in the reserves in the next 2 days. And yeah, that's going to be all for this video. I'm out. Thanks for watching, y'all. Peace.